Hey guys, and welcome to Book Club. So, it's been a week and I have given you guys a week to read Brett Lightbody's The Black Prism. It's the first book in the Lightbringer series. It's a fantasy book. I thought the book itself was pretty amazing when I first read it, and when I read it or listened to it through audiobook. And from my second read, I'm still impressed. Just still impressed of the creativity, and the thought process behind what went behind this book. It's definitely one of my favourite books, just because the depth of the characters, depth of the actual world, which is really nice. So there will be spoilers in this video, obviously, because we're going to be talking about the book. And hopefully in the future, if we get enough interest in the series, we can do it live so I can talk to you guys while we talk about the book, and we can go backwards and forth about what we liked about the book and what we didn't like about the book. So let's get straight into it. So obviously the book is about Kip Guile. Well, actually, it's sort of about several characters. I don't think it's about one character. Like, normally you have like a single protagonist, obviously, but I don't think you do in this book. I think you have like Kip, who is the main character, but then you also follow the storylines of Gavin Guile, Dazing Guile, Karis White Oak, and they're like the three main-ish characters, and obviously Liv Danavis as well. And then you sort of go into sub main characters, like spin-off characters like Iron Fist, the White, Andros Guile, obviously the Colour Prince. There's a ton of like characters. I do have a little list. Like, obviously, yeah, Corvin Danavis, and just other things like this, like there's like little characters and tangents there, where it's taking you on the storyline with those characters, but along with the main storyline of the main character, which is of the main character. I'd say main characters because I think there is more than one in this, if I'm perfectly honest. But I think the main character is obviously Kip, but it tells you such a wide range of the story. It's so immersive. It doesn't just focus like this person's point of view and that's it. You'll go from looking through the eyes of Gavin Guile, obviously, which I really liked, like the flip, because there's a scene I think between Gavin and Karis, and you're looking through Gavin's perspective, and then all of a sudden it flips it around completely, and you're looking through Karis's eyes. By the way, if you guys have read the names differently to what I'm saying, I'm going by what I heard on audiobook, because yeah, just put that out there. Because I listen to all my books on audiobook because it's a lot easier, and this was done by Graphic Audio. If you haven't seen Graphic Audio books, I highly recommend you listen to one, and it's a game changer. Like, you go from some guy talking or some woman talking, and they're half decent, to a whole variety of casts, and it's amazing. It changes your whole world. You get music, battle music. Like their slogan is a movie in your mind, and it's literally a movie in your mind. Like, I remember the first time I listened to the first graphic audio book I listened to was The Way of Shadows. It actually was The Way of Shadows, and it was ridiculous. But yeah, let's not go too far into it. Like, it got me hooked on audiobooks, and I haven't gone back, and it's been amazing. I don't ever listen to music at work anymore. Like, I just listen to audiobooks one after the other, just constantly. It's just so good. But yeah, so I thought this book was kind of interesting and amazing at the same time. I did start taking notes about it, but it became quite tedious and hard to write down everything I wanted to say. So yeah, going through what I think of the characters, really, like, obviously you learn quite soon in the book that Gavin is living a lie. He's actually Dazen, which is this that it was a whole thing when that happened. You were just like, what? Okay, so why? How did this come about? Why is this going on? And then you see the actual Gavin, who is now Dazen. We're just gonna say that Dazen is the one locked up, just because it will get confusing as hell otherwise. So you see Dazen in his cell, and it's like a whole plot routine thing, and it's like he's been in that cell for 16 years. Like, and he gets, I think, a bath once a week, and he gets a loaf of blue dyed bread every day. And you're just like, wow, what is going on here? So while all that's going on, you're just sat there thinking, okay. So and you go into like the mind of Dazen, and you see he's going a bit crazy. Like, he's hallucinating like this man, because for some reason, I mean, I'm not going to say spoilers later books, but you sort of see the mindset and why this happens, and you find out why this happens in the later books. I'm not going to go into any spoilers, because we will be reviewing those books later on, maybe in the future, maybe soon, because it might be good just to go through this whole series one after the other and see what we think of the whole series at the end of it. But there's a book coming out this year sometime, so yeah, I don't know. But I thought it was really cool the way Gavin and Dazen, they interacted, and it was like, why? What's going on? Like, it shows the character of Gavin when he comes down, he sees his brother, and he talks to him, and he's lying to him. He's not telling his brother anything he's really doing. Like, and I will go backwards and forwards on the story. This will not be in chronological order to the story, but the way Dazen is like portrayed, he's gone a bit crazy, and you see about stories about him from in the Prism's War. The Prism's War is, well, you guys know, obviously. What am I thinking? I'm not explaining this. You guys have read the book. You see him portrayed, sort of, he's quite a nasty person, and he had a whole personality flip. But like in public, he wasn't nasty. But it's really interesting to see the character development over the years, and as well, I really like the fact that all the characters in this series, they're not, oh, I am a paragon of truth, or I'm just evil. They're all in that grey area. Like the Coloured Prince, he's in that grey area of, you could support him if you saw his way of thinking. You could support Gavin if you saw his way of thinking, but you could also oppose him quite easily, the same as a Colour Prince. Like, that's what I found. Like, Kip is pretty, like, I think Kip is probably the only person that I find it easy to support, because he doesn't really know what he's doing, or he's not in that set to doing something evil. He sees things very straightforward, probably because he's young, obviously, and he's a bit dumb. And as you guys said in the comment section last week, he has daddy issues, which he definitely has daddy issues. Like, I hopefully when he goes through all the books, he gets rid of that a bit, and he comes into his own, because he does seem to, he wants to please his dad. He wants to, obviously with his mum, because of all of her problems, he definitely wants to be somewhere and fit in with some people. But he's finding it very hard to do that, obviously, and he doesn't want to let anybody down. But the genius things he does with magic and stuff like that. But I think one thing that did annoy me about Kip, though, is that he doesn't think about his magic enough. But I think he thinks about it more later on. He doesn't think about it enough. Like Super Violet, he doesn't use that at all. I mean, I don't know if he can draft that at the moment, actually. But he can see it. But if he can see it, he knows he can draft it, so why doesn't he try? Because instead of, like... let me think. What am I saying? Instead of, like, with some of the things that he does, like, he could use his super violet light to grab things and move them around. Do you know what I mean? Like when he that's actually, no, I think that's the second book. But you see what I mean? He definitely could do more with his magic. He has a very wide range of skills. Like, I know that in his testing that his dad faked it, but he is actually, you know he's a full spectrum polychrome. Like, he can do every colour in the freaking whole list. He can do 7. Everybody knows this because his dad faked it, and he like made him down to like 4 colours. But you know this, you know he faked it because it says in the storyline, which is really interesting, because it shows you that Gavin again is trying to protect / build Kip up. He wants him to feel not special. He wants him to not go somewhere and say, oh, you're a fully blah 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 polychrome, well done, that you can basically sit back on your laurels and do nothing for the rest of your life. He really wants to drive him and push him forward, so then he can be really strong. But he doesn't want to push him to be strong for himself. He sort of wants to use him as his tool, which is kind of, it makes you think, wow, he's doing that. But then when you read deeper into the lines, it's like, whoa, what? But then as the book goes on, he seems to like Kip more, and yeah, and like Karis seems to, first of all, she didn't like Kip, but then she starts to, I wouldn't say like Kip, but understand where Kip's come from, and it's not Kip's fault that he was born, so somebody needs to, help him and take care of him. It's really interesting. But yeah, I really rate this book. Like, if I was going to rate this book from a 1 to 10, I would easily give it a 9 or a 9.5. If I was going to give it a 10, I would like to see... What would I like to see? I'm not sure. I mean, it just didn't... there was probably... I don't know why I wouldn't give it a 10. I just wouldn't give it a 10. A 10 book for me has to be something that completely blows me away. That every single page I turn, I have to like read on, or I have to listen to the next page. Like, I'll never stop listening until that book is done. And I've only done that with probably one book, which I think was the Stormlight Archives. And I don't think that was all the books. I think that was particular one of them when it was getting really interesting. But as I said with this, it was just really interesting. I would really like to see. I really like your guys' opinion on this, actually. Like, anything that you guys want to throw back at me, question me on something, or if you guys just think no, you're completely wrong there, do say. But I would like to I definitely would like to review the next books. I haven't finished this book yet, but yeah, like, I really liked the battle, the way that Gavin built the whole like Brightwater wall, and then as he was just trying to finish it, it got penetrated. See, that to me was a bit well, I wouldn't say coincidental, but it was like, okay, so you built this whole wall and you only had the door to finish. Okay. Why did you have to build it from the outside? If you just needed something to last 1 hour, why didn't you go to the inside, just fill it all up with yellow luxin, just bind it to the outside, make it last 1 hour? That's all he needed. That is all he needed, 1 hour. And the guy who's really smart, he's really fast. Corvin Danavis is right next to him. He's really smart and really fast. Iron Fist, Commander Iron Fist, he's there as well. Is he? Actually, I don't know. No, at that point, he's not there. But all these people are there who are really smart. Go to the inside, build your gate, plug the hole, just for the hour. After that, release the Luxon, build a proper gate. That's all they have to do to hold that city. But of course, you have to have some dramatic flair to a book, of course. But that's probably the only reason why it's not 10 out of 10 to me. There's only little tiny things that I didn't like, because you've got intelligent people there who should think about these things and not do silly things. Like, he was stood out in front of the front of the thing on just a raised platform, and it was like, no, don't do that. Like, just plug the hole, goddammit. I did like I don't know how. It probably does tell you, but I haven't read into it. I don't know how what's his name? What is his name? King Haradul? That's the one. King Haradul survived that massive explosion that Gavin did. But then I'm not really worried, if I'm perfectly honest. Like, he dies, like. So yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting thing as well. Like, you don't really, like, death is a very, very constant thing in this book. So it pretty much, you're sat there and you're thinking, what's this death and life and like, Kip kills the King Haradul, doesn't really get any good consequences for this. I mean, like, I think, if I remember rightly, he no, I just think like, a 15-year-old goes around and starts murdering all these people. I don't want to give any spoilers for book 2, but the only thing I will say is he does have, like, lots of nightmares. But it's that frame of mind where they're in war and there's a 15-year-old in the middle of this war, and it just seems a little bit crazy for some reason. But yeah, so it was a bit strange. I mean, I can understand why he's there, and Karish took him into it, and you could see, like, her dilemma, which was really cool as well. Well, it's when he was in the war, like, chasing after the people going Green Golem, which was one of the most awesome parts of the book. She was there, and she was just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I should have. It's like, love, you're a blackguard. You think about those things way before now. Stop with that dilemma shit. Just get on. I don't like it when they have dilemmas like that. It's like, she definitely is a blackguard. I would like to see a bit more of. I would like to know a bit more of what Iron Fist did, like, during that time. Like, the guy's just a freaking absolute. He's a legend, isn't he? He, like, snuck into the enemy camp, pointed a cannon at them, blew freaking loads of things to pieces, and then just disappeared, and then ends up, like, at the boat, and then again Kip, with probably the most biggest moral high ground you've ever seen, just runs out and saves Iron Fist, which is really cool. Again, like, the amount this kid does, it's crazy. Like, the thing is, they say he's fat and he's heavy, but you don't really know how fat and heavy he is. Like, I picture somebody about my size, you know, my original size, probably about 14 stone, but, you know, a bit plumpy. But you don't know, do you? This kid could be 18 stone for all we know. But then he says he's got a lot of stamina, so I'm not sure how actually heavy he is. It doesn't specifically say. I think it's up to the mind, obviously your imagination, to take that into consideration, which is very interesting. I like the way that they don't leave that up. They don't go, oh yeah, he's 16 stone, because obviously then you'll know exactly how heavy he is, you know what I mean? But it sort of leaves it up to your imagination. See, because I couldn't see him being huge because he does like loads of running, and I couldn't see him being like, they say he's fat, so he can't be small. So it's interesting. I do like, and they say he's really broad as well. So he's very, like they say, he's very rotund. So to me that pictures a very stocky man, but he's got a lot of meat on him as well. But of course he's only 15. He hasn't even finished growing yet. He's going to be a monster when he grows. So yeah, like some of the small subplots, like the Andros Guile one, I think is really cool. I do like the Andros Guile when Gavin goes and meets him, like the most powerful man in the world, and lets him slap him across the face. I know he's your father, but sorry, he's a bit of a dickhead. Why are you just taking this? I'm just saying, like, I know respect one's father and all this, and they have this whole concept behind it, but it does seem to me that he has very much a daddy issue. That's kind of funny. Kip has a daddy issue. Gavin has a daddy issue. I wonder if Andros Guile had a daddy issue. maybe it's just the freaking Giles. Maybe they all have daddy issues. I don't know. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? But yeah, I thought that was really cool that you saw the most powerful man in the world just get backhanded slapped and like just brought down to nothing, and then you see this old frail man, like physically he wouldn't last against anybody in any kind of combat. He can't draft, he can't actually fight, but then he pulls these strings. He's like a spy master and he can do anything. It's really cool, I've got to admit. Like, it's really good the way they do that, the way Brett Weeks does that. And of course, like, coming to the end of the book, Gavin loses his colour, doesn't he? He loses blue when Dazen escapes from the blue prism. I thought that was really cool the way he did that, like obviously raising his body temperature and like drafting red. I thought that was really cool the way he did that. I have to admit, I thought that was pretty amazing. I mean, getting out of prison, I wouldn't be able to think of another way out of that prison, to be fair. I wouldn't even thought of that way. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like, yeah, that was nuts. That was nutty. Yeah, but almost killing yourself to get out of it. That was definitely a bit nutty. And then falling straight into the green prison. That would have drove me mental. I mean, I would have definitely died. I don't think I would have had the willpower to live in a prison for 16 years just in blow. I'd be like, mate, can I have a musical instrument or some TV or a book? I'd went insane. I'd have went absolutely nuts. But yeah, but it does show the resolve of that character. And you know he's gone a bit nuts, but it definitely shows his resolve to get out. Like, also, at the beginning of the book, like, it shows Kip right in his not infancy, but right in the state of when you first meet him. And he's very much, like, Kip's very much an angry character. Like, he seems like a character obviously always been bullied, but never been able to do anything about it. As soon as he does something about it, the bully beats him up. So he's never been able to escape that circle, and nobody's ever stuck up for Kip, obviously, because his mother is a haze addict. So he's never been able to escape that vicious circle. So you see him as he goes on in the book, like, he gets angry all the time, and then he starts to not get angry and realize people, or he thinks people care about him, and then he doesn't want to disappoint them. And you can see why he doesn't want people to disappoint. He doesn't want to disappoint people because he doesn't want to fall back into that circle of, okay, if I disappoint them, they're going to drop me like a lead weight. Nobody's going to care about me anymore. And he does this really, like, cool stuff. And you know when he gets angry, he just goes crazy, which is funny. And, you know, he screams and shouts a lot. But I definitely do like that. I mean, they did do... It made me laugh when oh, that was something that Kip could have done, like with Super Violet. Like when him and Liv went to try rescue Karis in the camp, he could have used. I don't think he can cast Ultraviolet, but if he could have cast Ultraviolet, he could have just went to one of the legs and zooped it towards him. It was a type of bird leg, but he could have zinged it towards him and flicked the coin towards her, and was like, "Cheers, love," and then started eating it. In that situation, they know he's a drafter. You know what I mean? It would have just settled everything down. So I don't know. I think that there are some really cool things that you could probably do with like different looks and styles. But I think I would like Kip to look at more other ways than just murder everything ways. I know he's not used to drafting, and he's trying to actually just learn how to draft. But he's a genius in the way that when he's in trouble or he's in danger, it just comes out of him. I mean, it does explain in the book that when you are in danger or when it's something like that, drafting becomes very easy because you open up to it so much more. But it's very interesting the way that when he does get it, that he becomes like ultra powerful. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there. What book should we read next week? Should we carry on with the Lightbringer series, or should we go to another book? I'm actually very happy to carry on with the Lightbringer series because I think there are 4 books in the Lightbringer series. Let me just check. Right, workings. Yes, there are 4 books. So how about we do this? How about we do? How about we do? We'll do the Binding Knife next week. We'll do the Broken Eye the week after, and the Blood Mirror after that. And then that will be the complete Lightbringer series done until August 2019, which is later this year. So then we can come back and do the Burning White, which is his next book. So then after that, we'll move on to another book series. So that's going to give you guys weeks to prepare. Like if you want to binge the whole of the series, so you can binge the whole of the series if you want to, which is probably what I am going to do if I'm perfectly honest. Because I think I'm definitely on book 2 of my audiobook, and I think that I'm on let me just check. So the Black Prism I think is about 20 hours long, so I think I'm about 10 hours, or so 20 or 25. I'm about 10 or 16 hours or 6 hours through the next book, because it is fantastic. It is like next level amazing, I've got to admit. But yes. So what I'm going to do is end it there. Next week we'll be doing the Binding Knife. Tell me what you guys thought about this. If you think I should have more structure, what way do you reckon I should take this? So should I be going more into the storyline? Should I talk more about the characters? More about the world? The world is amazing. I need to talk more about the world. But yeah, this is very much new to me, and I'm just talking about the book and what I like about the book, if you see what I mean. But yeah, I think I'm definitely going to take notes on this, on number 2, just so I can think and remember everything properly. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, subscribe and comment down below, tell me what you guys thought, and any ways I can improve on, or ways that you think I can improve on this series. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. And where did the music go? I was supposed to be playing chill out music. Oh, it is there. It's just really quiet, like chill out music in the back. Alright, until next time, peace.